when this season is over, we're going to get back to life as it should be. It's a lie. Busy people don't have seasons. It's kind of like Arizona. Does Arizona have a season? Yeah, one. It's hot all the time. We could probably go there right now and shed some clothing, even though it's warming up now. It's not the season that's busy, it is the person. It's you. Here's number 3. Here's the third lie this morning. But this is really important. This. Whatever that is, great word, God, thank you for giving us that in the dictionary. This thing, this whatever, this moment, this person, this is really important. And God, it can't wait. Spending time with you, sorry God, this is really important. This task, this person, this meeting, this opportunity. We line these things up in front of us because we think they're really important. Here's the key. It's not just what we think is really important. It's also what other people think, isn't it? Those close to us. Mary Jane, hey, this is really important to me, and so I'm pushing it over to you to be really important as well. Lisa and I joke around a little bit, and we call it the two words, urgent and the important. And the urgent gets pushed on us really quickly. And things are urgent. It's a 911 emergency. And don't mishear me. I'm not saying that hospital visits and things that happen where we need to be ministers, those are awesome and great moments. Jesus showed us the way in that. And leading people and going to see and ministering to the woman at the well. But the 911 call that is a paper that's due, students, I'm going to talk to you for a second. On Friday, we knew about it for a month. It shouldn't be an urgent, important 911. It should have been important a month ago, right? We should have planned it out better. Maybe we should learn a lesson as adults on that as well. We need to make sure that we are doing the important, but that they don't become 911 calls. Okay, we'll just leave that there. So the urgent versus the important. I want us to do something. If you've missed this morning, maybe fueling up, and you're running on empty, I want us to pause. I just want us to pause for a moment. Maybe it's a breath that you need to take. Maybe it's just clearing your mind of everything else that's going on around you. Maybe it's just looking down at the ground. Maybe it's looking at the heavens. Whatever you need to do, I would like us just to do that really quickly. Even in my words, I noticed. That's a sign of running on empty. It doesn't need to be quick. We need to take a moment just to say, God, be here. God, I want to listen to you. I don't want to buy into the lies anymore. So would you do that with me? And after a couple moments, just say a short prayer. God, forgive us. Forgive us for running on empty. When we need to be running on the fuel that you give us. Again, the only reason that we can be poured out is if we are being poured into. Jesus, so pour into us this morning. God, we receive the blessings that you want to give us, the word that you want to give us. God, we don't want to run on empty. We don't want to work on the empty, on the fumes. God, we want to work and we want to chase after the things that you have taught us to chase after. God, we want to pursue you. God, whatever direction you have us pursue you in, God. God, we want to do that in full. So help us this morning, even right now, God. It's in your name we pray. So here we go. Martha could have been honest. She could have said, the work will get done. I'll make sure of that after Jesus leaves, because maybe it was important. It's real important around the Williams household to have a clean house. Pine needles from the Christmas tree, vacuum. That's important stuff. And I'm not saying this morning that we need to be slobs. We need to live life just, whatever. Whatever happens, Jesus. I'm not saying that this morning. I'm saying we need to be at the feet of Jesus. We get the house all ready to meet Jesus, but we never get to experience Jesus in the house. Are you like that? We get the house ready, but we miss Jesus coming through. We miss Jesus, and we just go through the motions. And maybe it's here at church. We're just going through some motions because we know how to do it. Maybe we've done it, and it was real at one point, and Jesus was among us, you know. He was with us and walking with us, and then we started talking, and we got distracted, and Jesus kind of hung out with some other people. We just kept talking. Have you ever been in a situation like that? Maybe let somebody talk until they realize you're not with them anymore. You just kind of wave at them. Hey, you missed me back there. Why don't you stay in this conversation? So she missed it. She didn't get the work done. I'll be with you later, Jesus. We have to be honest. And Jesus knows us. And we have to confess that like we just did, hopefully, a minute ago. Here's number 2. We have to name the distractions. Scripture says in Luke 10:40, but Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work myself? Tell her to help me. Let's be honest, we've all thought that, maybe. If I don't do the work, who will? Who's going to pick up the slack? If I don't do it, Jesus, no one else is going to. Really? Let's try that. That's why we're a body. Everybody works together, hopefully. If you're not doing it, and I'm not saying drop a ball so that somebody can pick it up and you don't fill them in, but maybe you need to let some things go. And you need to say, I'm going to use my wife. Lisa, would you pick this up for me? I can see that you are gifted in some of these areas, but I've got so much on my plate. Please take this. And it'll be a blessing for Lisa, won't it? Because she's working in her giftedness. It's important to get the house ready, and that's, again, not what we're talking about. We're talking about distractions. The distraction for Martha was all the preparations had to be made. What is it for you? What are your distractions? Maybe it's not cleaning. Maybe you don't like cleaning. Maybe you get caught up in putting up Christmas lights. Who was I talking to? Bobby? This morning, talking about Christmas lights. We can relate with each other. This weekend, I put up Christmas lights. I had a big schedule. I had lots of things I wanted to get done. Namely, clean the garage. That didn't happen. I got caught up putting up Christmas lights, which was a great thing, actually. I met a neighbor who has Lyme disease. For 3 years, they struggled, and they misdiagnosed him 3 times, and he had back surgery 3 different times because they thought it wasn't, I won't try to pronounce the disease, but they thought it was a slip disc, some kind of disease, and they kept trying to cure the symptoms. And they didn't chase after it. Well, I'm sure they were trying. But he had some surgeries. But it was great to sit in my front yard and let this man, previously an electrician, come over and say, Jeremy, you just need to fix this wire here in the bulb, and you need to replace the bulb. And he helped me put up some lights, and it was a great time just to get to know a neighbor. What's your distraction? Maybe TV is your distraction. Actually, somebody shared with me they had spent way too much time watching TV. They just had to confess it. And parents, it wasn't a teenager, believe it or not. What's your distraction? Maybe it's shopping. Maybe it's talking on your cell phone, video games, whatever. What is your distraction? Maybe it's just plain old busyness. What keeps you from sitting at the cross of Jesus Christ? What keeps you from meeting with your Lord and Savior? And maybe it's not those emergencies that we talked about, but maybe it's just, it's not number one. Jesus isn't number one in your life, and so you step around. Don't forget, Mary sat at Jesus' feet and Martha fell into the lie, but it's really important. She was distracted by all the preparations, and she totally missed Jesus at her doorstep. Number 3, we need to choose what is better. Did you notice that Jesus said, Martha, Martha. Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, and this is Luke 10:41-42. You are worried and upset about many things, but only one thing is needed. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken from her. I mentioned Martha, Martha for one reason. Jesus had to call her name 2 times. She was still so busy she didn't recognize that Jesus Christ, the Lord and Savior of this world, was in her home. Wow. My son Andrew, if you don't have a son or a daughter, I'm going to give you a great analogy. It takes us at least 3 or 4 times when he is into something to get his attention. I'm sure none of you have noticed that. He has a lot of energy. But we have to call his name several times because we were trying to make a point, we were trying to correct him, discipline, maybe even give him a treat or something, and we're trying to get his attention. We're saying, Andrew, look to me, listen, buddy. And it was almost like Jesus had to do this to Martha, wasn't it? Look at me. I can only imagine Jesus coming up to the door and knocking. And Martha opens. Hey, Jesus, great to see you. Hang on, though, I'm getting ready for you. I'll be back in a minute. And she starts going about her business, doing all the work, the dusting, the cleaning. And Jesus is left there standing, thinking, Martha, I'm here. I'm knocking at your door. Where are you going? No hug, no handshake, no real hi. It's just, I got to get back to my thing. I'm busy. I'll get back to you later when it's convenient for me. We have to choose what is better. After Jesus gets Martha's attention, he corrects her and says, only one thing is needed. And this passage actually shows us some things that are more important. There are 2 types of kindnesses. Think about where Jesus was going. He was on his way to Jerusalem to die. He was getting ready to take away the sins of man, and he makes a stop by his friend's house. Jesus came to a home where Mary and Martha were, and Mary is excited, and so is Martha, but she's excited about getting things cleaned up for Jesus. She's rushing around, doing the busy stuff, wanting to please, which is a good thing, right? She wanted to please her Lord. But that wasn't what Jesus wanted. He wanted quiet. Maybe he wanted to be away from the crowds. You guys have anybody like that in your life? Or are you like that? Maybe when life gets so busy, you just want to go over to mom and dad's house. Maybe a daughter or son's house. Maybe a neighbor's house. And you know them, and they know you, and you don't have to say anything. You know those kind of people? Great friendships, and you just want to go over there and just have a relationship with somebody and talk. I can imagine that this might be what Jesus was talking about. We had a friend come over last night. He called pretty late. He said, hey, can I just come over? And it was one of those, in the voice you could hear something. We said, yeah, come on over. And for the next hour and a half, 2 hours, just begin talking. I understand why counselors get paid the big bucks. They just listen. And say, right, Jeremy? Yeah. But they just listen, and they say, yeah, go ahead, tell me more. I'm interested. I care about you. I want to help. You have to choose what is better. But only one thing is needed quite possibly means I don't want the big spread, Martha. I don't want the big party. I don't want the big show. I just want to be with you. I just want to